We just received a new report detailing the steps necessary to make Lunar Classic profitable. Everything that relates to the burns we're expecting and more will be discussed today. The time for introductions is over. Let's get down to business. A Twitter whale shark once shared an article written by Steve Urkel that explained how Terra Classic may reach $1. Okay, so let's jump right in. There's a wealth of data demonstrating the mathematical feasibility of this, whether we're talking about $1 or one of those higher price points. I just heard they are going to enable trading again and repeg the USD. The current Terra and a classic development team is called Terra Rebels. More Lunar Classic will be consumed during the trading procedure in 1 month and the 1.2% burn tax within 10 years. I know I've posted this before, but we're going to keep spreading the word until everyone knows about it. Then Steve explains why the transition from Lunar Classic to Terra Classic will be so significant. And this is where we'll wrap everything up for you. Like I indicated, the figures show exactly how the burn could accelerate in this way. In order for our Classic to achieve our lofty price goals, we are well aware that the vast bulk of our stock must be consumed. In order to do this, we require high volume on-chain and the implementation of the 1 point both on and off-chain, i.e., on centralized exchanges. However, I have already expressed all this in other videos. Without a real-world application for Terra Classic, it will be unable to maintain the required volume to burn the required trillions of tokens. However, retaking Terra Class for USD might be the way out of this predicament. As you can see, Terra Classic was generating daily volume in the billions of dollars until its catastrophic collapse. Hundreds of millions of dollars a day, much as Terra Classic. This warning is in reference to the impending conversion from Terra Classic USD to Terra Classic currency. This is a huge concern since the stablecoin USD is being used more and more in everyday transactions and might theoretically collapse if its use were to become too widespread. And, as I mentioned before, online trade based on this stablecoin, with Terra Classic as the peg given that it is an algorithmic stablecoin. Therefore, constant buying and selling was required to maintain the $1 value. Each and every transaction involving the buying and selling of these two coins generates an enormous amount of volume on the blockchain. The 1.2% burn mechanism would activate in response to those purchases or sales. Further, if the stablecoin were widely adopted, we might not even require a large number of buyers to get an extremely high burn volume. Furthermore, if the peg occurs, this thread will continue to discuss the matter. This is a major consideration in burning through trillions of tokens even if demand is stagnant. Then Steve Urkel discusses the most pressing issue we must address to make this a reality. The issue with repackaging USD is that instantly everyone would buy it. It hit $1. That means that $10 billion in debt is equivalent to the total of $10 billion in USD. However, strategies for absorbing that debt through investment or sweat equity are currently under discussion. Another topic of discussion is whether or not the supply of Lunar Classic should be capped at 10 billion to prevent another depack. This might be all that's needed. Anyone not following the development team who thinks we can't destroy the supply of Lunar Classic and compensate us is mistaken. Let me be clear. I'm not denying the possibility of harm. I'm not trying to convince you that it's not worth anything by stating that. Anyone who thinks otherwise is either woefully misinformed or not paying attention. With a 1.2% burn proposal, we're already on track to hit the supply cap of 10 billion. Look over here, and this will continue to be true until the year 10 billion. The goal of the 1.2% ban plan is to reduce the number of units to 10 billion, which would, as I've already mentioned, fully reimburse us to Terra Class in USD because to the identical nature of the supply. Steve offers more insight into potential catalysts and volume boosters, and we've established that daily volume and on-chain volume are essential for the burn to be effective, to burn a large number of tokens, and to achieve the higher price targets. After that, Steve Urkel says the fearsome dev brackets. Lunar Classic is a hotbed of rebellion. It is being updated to operate with Google Carbon, an alternative to C++. It will be among the pioneering cryptos in this regard. Additionally, they are making efforts to ensure that Lunar Classic is compatible with the OEM layer of the chipsets that will be utilized to generate all metaverses in the future. As a result, Lunar Classic can be used in any metaverse. This opens the door for a plethora of Lunar Classic forks to gain access to energy, finances in the metaverse, every new derivative is doomed to destruction. The moon has always been a classic. So, this is how we're going to dispose of Lunar Classic. As a start, the 1.2% burn tax will assist. But it won't be the primary factor in eliminating lunar classes altogether. As we've seen time and time again, it's like this right down to the practical applications. In addition to its numerous advantages, Lunar Classic is a Layer 1 blockchain, which is the foundation upon which more than 30 other projects have been developed. Transferring to Lunar Classic is currently in progress. Lunar Classic's low cost is an advantage. The lower the price of Lunar Classic, the cheaper the gas expenses on-chain. Thus, we want it to stay low until we have burned trillions of coins. Since it currently only costs point-something lunar or even 1 to 2 lunar to put through a transaction, the more efficient and low-cost the chain is, the better. That's not even a few cents. Currently, the on-chain fees are quite low because the amount involved is so small. So, Steve is right when he says we should maintain a low pricing. Keeping the price low and the on-chain volume high is a priority right now since we don't want to create market caps by reaching irrational highs. If all goes well, our USD class will be repacked by the arriving buyers and vendors. As I indicated before, the key is to maximize sales while keeping costs down. This is a topic we've covered numerous times in films. When the market capitalization of a currency rises, its price rises along with it, reducing the number of coins available for repurchase within 24 hours. This naturally results in a higher price. Because of this, new projects desired to be constructed on a chain that had a low pricing and minimal transaction fees. What I've just described is, as I stated, the document synopsis. There's a great deal of intriguing argumentation. If you wish to verify my assertion, you can find the relevant document in the description. And this is working in tandem with the 1.2% burn tax we've seen simply from buys in the market, with no triggers on the horizon potentially having already burned billions or trillions. Many of these lofty pricing projections are looking increasingly likely. $1 could be pushing it a bit. It will take at least 5 to 10 years, and a lot, to eradicate that, right? Therefore, I would not put money on it. I have a little position in Lunar Classic. I'm not betting on its future value or over-leveraging to get there. But, I must say, the prospects are bright. Please share your thoughts in the section below. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. If you like this, you should subscribe to New Round and give the video a thumbs up. On a wager, we will meet you. Goodbye.